Okay, so welcome everybody. This is for those who have been with us for a couple of months, will know that every week we do a weekly chart breakdown. This is a slightly different version of that, and for a very good reason. We're very excited. We've been monitoring the cryptocurrency market quite religiously over the past couple of weeks and months. And if you've been monitoring it, you will have seen over the past 3 months, 1.3 trillion has flown out of the Bitcoin market cap. And we're currently getting back to some very interesting levels. And we're going to discuss those and run through those individually with you today across a number of different charts. We're currently looking at the total market cap. Total, we've touched on this a number of times. We'll get into this a bit more in depth. But at the moment, we've seen a huge sell-off, 45% from recent all-time highs. And we have seen a number of liquidations, which we're going to discuss with you today. So what we'll do is we will pass over to Joel. We will run through all sorts of bits and pieces, and we will go through a number of charts individually. And at the end of the session, we're going to leave you with some thoughts for future positions that you might take.
Brilliant, thanks, Alex. So we will now jump into, first of all, just setting the scene, and Alex touched on it there, with looking into just simply the last 24 hours in terms of the data. We've had over $160 million worth of liquidations, a huge amount when it comes to the market cap, and of course, as Alex touched on here, in terms of the whole sell-off over the last 3 months, it's been quite disruptive and quite catastrophic, I think, for most people in their accounts, especially if you've been trading on leverage. And this is ultimately where our strategy of building a portfolio, buying at fantastic levels and buying fantastic coins at fantastic levels comes into its own, because we've been able to ride out all of that volatility, all of that liquidation that's happened, with where we've currently positioned essentially at about break even in some of our latest positions, of course, long term in huge profits still when it comes to the cryptocurrency world. But all that we've seen over the last few months is it's just taken us down to our current positions of where our previous levels of what we're buying into, which is fantastic for us because we are now in a great position that we can add further at those levels. So what I want to do is overall, let's look at the cryptocurrency market cap. Here we're sitting on the 3-day chart, on the 3-day time frame, and that's just to confirm each one of these candles represents 3 days of price action, just to give you an overview of exactly what we're seeing. What we want to do though is now we've marked out this previous level, and this is previous resistance. You can see that overall, where you can just take a trend line tool, and I'm just going to point out this is previous support, key level in the market around $1.75 trillion. Bounced off that, broke through, and then used that same level. Look, let's make that line level and straight. So you can see, use that same level as resistance then. So it tells us that that is a key level in the market when we're just simply looking from technical analysis perspective. We've then used that as a level of support when we've came into this level again, twice tapped into that. Once when we broke through and then just built a little bit of a base on there, just there. And then obviously tapped into it very quickly when we came back into that level as well, okay? Now this whole zone for us is what we've been watching. And if we can get back into this area, that's where we're getting excited about buying. And that's ultimately what's happened over the last couple of days. We've just come into this region and you can instantly start seeing some buying occurring now, okay? Throughout this whole downtrend, throughout all of this downtrend here, there's been very little areas where we've started to build wicks on the bottom of the candles. Here's one of them, potentially here's another one of them, okay? But with the amount of sell-off that we're seeing, the amount of fear in the market now, and ultimately, as I say, with the liquidations ultimately stopping a lot of traders out, it's now giving a fantastic position to start accumulating more of these coins, adding to our portfolio, and being able to just build even stronger position in terms of what will ultimately come next, in terms of a bounce and a rebound, and hopefully another bearish trend, the next leg up, and to see newfound levels on all of our individual coins that we're following. I won't break down all of these particular coins, but essentially what we're seeing is the same type of thing across all of these total market caps. And for anybody that isn't aware, who wants to have a look at these charts themselves on TradingView, all that you simply need to do is type in the ticker name total, and that will bring you to the crypto total market cap. Total 2 is exactly the same, but without Bitcoin included. Total 3 is everything without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So essentially what you're seeing here is just the altcoin market. So without breaking those down individually, they're essentially showing you the same picture as what we've just shown you on the total market cap. So let's have a look at Bitcoin itself, okay? And where we're actually looking for at the moment. And ultimately our reasons of what we're looking at. So we've got a few of our previous levels that we've been looking at and trading around over the last 3, 4, 5 months or so. And we've now returned back into this region of a consolidation and ultimately accumulation from the last time that the Bitcoin reached those highs. And we were able to accumulate positions into this region here. And anybody that was following us back in May, June, July will have known some of the positions that we were taking in this level around here, okay? So we're now revisiting that region, but the thing to remember is that this was grabbing liquidity from the last time that we revisited this region. We're very unlikely to return all the way back into the bottom of this region again. Most likely, the situation is that we grab more liquidity, but from higher up in the zone. And then from there, we're able to hopefully rebound and look to move forward. So the way that we can actually analyze which levels that those might well be at is we can use this as a volume profile across that whole zone. And that zone comes right back into 32,775, okay? If we're just analyzing where the majority of the volume lies right now within this accumulation zone. So that's where the majority of the volume is on average from the buying that happened within this region. Okay, and as you can see, we're revisiting near that zone right now. The second thing we're going to do is actually look at the volume from the entire sell-off, what happened. Well, that's at a very similar level, just above our current market price, just here. So that's showing you that this whole sell-off, the majority of the volume was at the bottom. So it's not a strong sell-off at the top, its majority is the volume at the bottom. So that shows you this is more accumulation, grab of liquidity to move back up to the highs than it was to ultimately just sell coins. We'll analyze what happened as it currently stands, and you can see if this was a strong selling move, you'd see that blue line, the majority of the volume is to be somewhere at the top of this region. And you can already see the volume that's being brought at the bottom has shifted that down already to around about the middle. Probably what's more likely to happen is that we'll see some accumulation happening over the coming weeks, potentially coming month. And at that stage, we will able to shift that volume average down lower, may well be reaching somewhere down here, but if it stays along here long enough, similar to what it did last time, then it's going to, of course, move into the 30s. That's irrelevant, essentially, from what we're actually looking for is this is an area that we're looking to buy and accumulate. All right, so the thing to remember is we need a long-term outlook. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, this is the best performing asset class in history, and certainly of the past recent memory when it comes to financial markets. Bitcoin itself is the market leader for that. So it gives you that is the safest bet that you can look at across the entire market at the moment. And with that being the case, it's going to form a large part of our buying over the next few weeks and a few months that we're looking just to accumulate as much as possible within these regions. All right. Of course, that's our primary view, what are we looking at in terms of, we're looking to bounce from this region, hopefully get a quick bounce, so that'd be lovely for everybody. But we have to be aware that what happens if your trade idea goes wrong? What about if you're potentially wrong? And that's, of course, any sensible trader has to do so. So we've got a zone that we're looking to accumulate around this level. If we were to break this level and revisit lower, then we know that's very, very strong levels of support at 20,000. All right. Unlikely view that we move back into that region, but if we did, then we know that that's even stronger levels of support. And as we're building a portfolio, our outlook, our time horizon, as it were, for where we're looking to realize some of these gains is looking at 2-3 years at least down the line. And that's the important thing. Don't get caught up into leverage, otherwise you'll be a statistic on this chart. If you get into leverage positions where you're looking just to simply take advantage of the buying and, you know, kind of looking only at the upside, the more likely is that you're going to actually be caught out on the downside. And so that just simply buy these coins as part of a portfolio. If you want to take a little bit further risk, then move further down the altcoin market, and you can look at some of the smaller cap coins individually. The smaller cap coins offer larger risk, but also much larger reward, because there's more potential that they're going to go higher percentage wise than what Bitcoin may well do. Bitcoin may double in price, whereas any of the altcoins could triple, quadruple, or even more in percentage terms over that time period. But of course, goes alongside that is that it has a much higher percentage of going to zero than Bitcoin does. All right, so it's just all about risk and reward. You'll know your own risk tolerance. You'll know where your own positioning is, what you feel comfortable with your funds. If you're trading funds or investing funds, that you're more than happy to have a long shot to make substantial reward, and you're not necessarily too concerned if to risk it all if things didn't work out, then brilliant. I'd probably recommend looking lower down this blue watch list here and some of the smaller altcoins. Some of my favorites may well be Fetch AI and the Graph, fantastic project as well. Maker DAO, fantastic as well, another opportunity. All of these coins that we've outlined from the watch list on the right here, these are the coins that we would be seeing over the next couple of years to be the best projects to be invested in, and certainly the best projects to be invested in at these prices. So you can choose which one of those that you probably prefer, or a selection of them, a basket of them, which ones that you personally are more aligned with in terms of your preference for the exact project and goals that and problems that they solve, or simply look at like an equal weighting across all of them, and you'll be doing extremely well, I'm sure. So that's what we're looking to set out here, is overall what is the best opportunities. We've outlined these across the cryptocurrency market as the best ones that we're watching and the best ones that we'll be invested into. But leave it ultimately open to yourself, because there's a lot of personal choice about how you build a portfolio yourself. The other market I did want to have a look at is Ethereum, just simply because this does offer a fantastic opportunity itself, alongside Bitcoin, but slightly different. Of course, with Ethereum being more of a platform opposed to a store of wealth, and some of the network effects that that Bitcoin is aligned to and takes advantage of are quite unique aside from Bitcoin itself. So that would be, if you're looking at, you know, the safer bets to take in this relative world. When I say safer bets, of course, when it gets invested into cryptocurrencies, things can never be 100% safe, but relative safety across the cryptocurrency world is what I'm referring to. This would be a fantastic opportunity, I think, at these price levels, and still maintain that I think that that Ethereum does revisit somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000 at some stage in 2022. That's my personal thoughts, personal feelings of where the projection could well be. But of course, we'll wait and see exactly what happens. Do you have any thoughts yourself, Alex?
Well, I think so what we've kind of outlined there is that, as you can see from the watch list, there's a huge array of opportunity out there. And as Joel touched on earlier, depending on the coins, well, not depending on the coins, but really you need to ask yourself the question, do you need to trade on leverage? We've highlighted there the Bitcoin liquidations, and just to highlight an obvious point there, they are real transactions and they are real people. And in terms of the percentage gains and the opportunities out there, with a number of the coins or tokens that have been highlighted on that list, there's enough opportunity to make some substantial returns without the use of leverage, by slowly building your portfolio, taking a number of positions in different projects. The most important thing is to research the use cases, and that will make you feel comfortable in the positions that you take.
Exactly, really well put, and I think that kind of summarizes what we're looking to say here. Let's go over just individually what these coins are. So we've got, of course, of what our watch list of what we're recommending as the best options within this market. So you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, of course, Stellar Lumens, Litecoin, EOS, Tezos, Uniswap, Ethereum Classic, OMG Coin, Compound, MakerDAO, ZRX, and then also have REP, the Graph, Sushi Swap, XEM or NEM, Fetch AI, Cardano, Polkadot, and VeChain. These are the options that we're looking at as our best options within the market, and we'll be spreading out our investments overall individually on these. Stay tuned to the Telegram channel to be kept up to date with exactly what and when we are buying those. But essentially, I think any of these purchases across the current price range of where they are at the moment are going to look fantastic in 1, 2, 3 years down the line. And that's the important line. That's the important takeaway from this video. Any closing thoughts before we finish up, Alex?
No, I think you touched on it there. I think this is a project, a long-term project, something that we will be entering into without leverage, with the foresight of 1 or 2 years. This isn't a take a position today, close it next week. This is a enter at a great price on a great project, and allow time to benefit you financially.
Brilliant. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below and share your thoughts with us. I'm more than happy to discuss some of these thoughts and processes that we've set out already. But other than that, happy investing.
Take care.